Geographic information systems projects are entirely dependent, of course, on data sets. And getting good spatial data sets is one of the most valuable skills that a GIS specialist can have. Data sets can come from a variety of different sources, but in many cases they require either a great deal of ingenuity to track down existing data sets that can be of use, or to modify or create new data sets. In these next few videos, I'm going to show you several directions by which GIS specialists get data sets. One is relatively straightforward, and that is to depend upon a government agency of some sort, particularly at the state level. Most states actually in the United States and many foreign countries have what's called a GIS clearinghouse, or a GIS data warehouse, or a spatial data warehouse, and the names are all fairly similar, and you can usually track down the data site for a particular state through Google by searching on state GIS data clearinghouse or state GIS data download, and usually the state GIS data will come up very quickly. In New York State, the main site is called the New York State GIS Clearinghouse, and it is a very rich source of data. It is supported by, it is actually a clearinghouse, and the data is contributed by a very large number of state agencies and local governments, including a number of counties, some towns, some federal agencies, and primarily, or most notably, all of the various offices of the of state government. There's a lot of stuff there. It is possible to search by the owner or contributor, so to speak, to this site, and it's also possible to try and search by topic. Such as hazards might be an interesting topic to search on for an example here, and that produces for us various data sets, some of which are useful, many of which sound a lot better than they actually are. State pollution discharge elimination system, a very fundamental, important data set. Flood zone hazards, FEMA flood zone hazards. A few localized data sets for hazards. All these things are available. Parks and recreation, interesting one to search at. Accessibility of outdoor recreation sites. Various things about wildlife and such. Although probably going directly to DEC would be a better first step toward finding data about wildlife and natural resources. But there are a lot of data sets available. Many of them are only available by reaching out to a contact person, and many of them are downloadable from the website. And of those that are downloadable, some of them require one to be a certified member of the clearinghouse, which I am, so that I can get data sets to use in my teaching. So there's a variety of ways that the data can be accessed, and it is a very, very good data set. Another very commonly used data site is a place called the National Map, and it is the source of a great deal of very fundamental information that is supplied across the whole country, and primarily we would find historical topographic maps, every series back to the late 1800s of USGS topoquads are available in georeferenced format. This is the best place to go to get digital elevation models, elevation information. Also the best place to go for watershed boundaries, waterways, streams. They have good collections of imagery and land use. So when and some of these other data sets sound a little better than they are. But fundamentally, at the National Map download site, you can get historic information, a whole bunch on boundaries, county boundaries, town boundaries, etc., elevation, hydrography and watershed boundaries, imagery, and land use, which really comprises a great deal of the fundamental natural resource information that one would like to use. Another very valuable site is something called the Earth Explorer, and let's see here, we will pick a place I know of and discover, and what I'm doing is I'm searching, using that as a search location within this site called the Earth Explorer to determine what sites are available, or what data sets are available that are at that site or cover that particular site. That's one way to winnow down and reduce the volume of results that one would get. And at that site, we have a whole variety, a whole series of land-covered data sets. There's a whole bunch, some from an older data set called the National Atlas, a whole collection of different elevation data sets, which require a little more understanding, a little more scouting to use than others. Also, some collections of aerial photography over time are available here, and this is also where the Landsat imagery, L8, which is the current recent Landsat satellite, Landsat number 8. It's only been in the up in the sky for a couple of years now, and only for a year or so has it been producing extremely good data. So there are a lot of very fundamental remotely sensed data sets here which could contribute, and there literally are hundreds and hundreds of data sets that are available, and the Earth Explorer, being satellite, actually centered around satellite type data, is a global data set, and one could scout around into much more exotic places than Monroe County, New York. So those are probably the three best places to go looking for data, and they are very general sites. They're meant to serve anybody who's interested in a wide variety of data, and therefore they take some practice and some exploration to find what an individual might need for their specific task. So those are data sites. I'll close that video.